All right. I promise I'm gonna get better equipment. Drugstore Rose, thank you for joining me today. It is New Year's Eve. I'm not sure when I'm gonna publish this, but I'm recording this on New Year's Eve, and as you can see, I don't have a jacket on, so I mean, it's kind of cold out. I could technically have one on, but with the sun shining, it's a little warm. So I figured I would go without. I did have several videos that I did. I just kind of wanted to reiterate, since I did mention it in the Christmas video, about your reactions to things being everything, and I didn't publish that video yet, and I still might publish that one. It was really pretty out. There was some snow on the ground in that one. I also had rocks all over my longer coat that I wore. So there's just some things going on in that video that I was like, But, so your reactions to things are everything. I really want you to understand that. I really want to emphasize that. This thing that's playing out right now is just a result of your previous thoughts, beliefs. So when we react to that, we're basically just creating a feedback loop. So if there's energy that you're trying to get out of, you're trying to change something, trying to just consistently reacting to what's already playing out is not going to do anything. You must react differently. You must look at the situation differently. And I gave the example of my car. I had a car that was like an in-betweener kind of car. And it had a lot of problems. And instead of sort of basking in the appreciation of the fact that I had a car and it got me to school, got me to work, it got me all over the place, got me to the store. You know, I don't know what I would have done without the car, despite the fact that it had so many problems. I focused on the problems. When we focus on the problems, we just keep perpetuating it. So I just couldn't figure out how. I was kind of stuck with this car and stuck with the way that it was. And I feel like no matter what I did or tried to do, it's almost like, and I feel like it got hit a couple times while parked. And then it got hit, somebody hit me as I was pulling out of a parking place, and they were pulling out of a parking place, and I tried to honk the horn and they still hit me anyway. So it's like the frequency of the situation about this car was just perpetuating all of the problems, and it just kept attracting more issues. It wasn't until I literally made this a non-issue, I just decided to stop focusing on the problems, because I got to a place where I don't even know if it was where I got to a place where I was actually able to get the newer car. I don't know that it was that yet. I feel that what I did before I even got to that place was that I just accepted the situation. I accepted it, and just kind of made my car, I just made the car like it was in the background and it wasn't really that important, and I just was like dealing with it. It's something that I had to drive, and it was just sort of like in the background. I didn't make it this big thing that was annoying to me. It's like when I got in it, I just started seeing it as this is what I'm driving right now. I just kind of like ignored it. I kind of made it like it is what it is kind of thing. And very soon after that is when I attracted the newer vehicle. And even that was like a situation. So when I started looking for cars, I went to a couple car lots and I realized I was going to have to pay more. But the problem was that I realized I was going to have to pay more, and like they said, you know, the people on the phone would say that there was a high selection of what I was looking for, and then I would get out to the lots and there was like nothing, like not much at all. So it's like I accepted that I was going to pay more, but I could not accept that I was going to have to settle on top of it. So again, it's like this was like a problem. It's like now I have the ability to get a newer car, but I couldn't figure out how to get this newer car because it would just seem like I was blocked. And I had a couple different types of cars, Google Images like in my phone of a couple different types of cars. I did the 16-second visualization technique, I don't know, like a few times about this, and I ended up ultimately dropping it after I went to like the second car lot, or a car lot the second time. I think I went to one like a couple times. I looked at a couple cars, like I test drove a couple cars at that car lot. I don't know if it was on different days. Then I went to a totally different one earlier than that. But ultimately, I just gave up on the whole situation. I just put it off to the side for a while. I just basically let it go because I'm like, I don't know what the answer is. I'm not happy with what I looked at. It's not like I didn't try to do something. I took action, but it wasn't getting me anywhere. And I was overthinking it, and it was just like another problem. Very, very, very shortly after that, I mean, I'm talking very shortly after that, an idea came to me. Long story short, I got a car not at a dealership, like not at a local dealership. The car that I ended up with is like the two different cars, like if they were like combined, like all the qualities in those two cars. And it was delivered to my home. So like it was literally like delivered to me. So the point of me saying this is sometimes problems can be really in your face and it's really hard to ignore them. But if you can find some kind of way, like Abraham Hicks would say, like soothe yourself about it, or I would suggest, and I think they do suggest this as well, is look at something else. If something's really triggering, it's a topic that's really triggering or a problem that's really bothering you, put that on the shelf if you can in any way. And just focus on something else, something that makes you feel better, something that brings you more joy. Because the solution is not in the energy of the problem. It's only when you drop that the solution will come to you. And it will come to you so fast. And so like it still blows my mind the way that this all happened. And I might publish the other video that I was talking about this, because I think I explained it better in the other video. I think I went a little bit more into depth. But so it's New Year's Eve, and I did write out, I think, a couple different versions of my intentions for 2025. Time isn't real, but we're perpetuating the system called time. And since we're doing so, that's what I do. That's what I did. Again, I want to mention like the Atomic Habits book, because I think when it comes to New Year's, a lot of people use the term resolutions. I don't like that term. I like to make intentions because it means that I'm going to do it. If it's a lofty goal, the reason I'm bringing up Atomic Habits is because if you can establish a habit that you can consistently show up to that specific smaller goal, that smaller habit that leads to the bigger goal. Because I think what happens is we make these very, very lofty goals for the new year, but we don't come up with any kind of game plan for them. So I just highly recommend reading that book and establishing a regular habit. Put a notification on your phone to do something daily or weekly at a specific time where you're going to spend a specified amount of time. It could be 5 minutes. That's something that is working toward this goal that you set for the new year. And if it's several goals that you're setting for the new year, several, whatever you call them, resolutions, I call them intentions. For me, they're intentions because I intend on doing them. Set a specified amount of time to do something that is working toward that, because what that does is it creates a lot of momentum, and you would be amazed of what you can actually accomplish in even a very short amount of time just by showing up to a smaller goal, like a smaller habit that it's going to deliver you to this goal, and it'll make the goal seem more achievable. It'll actually be achievable. It won't be like this big crazy thing. So I wanted to bring that up since It is New Year's Eve, and also I wanted to just throw in what I did not mention the other day when I did the Christmas video. Another thing about the holidays I kind of wanted to talk about was how they're a little conflictual for me. I think it's obvious, there's obvious reasons for that. I think because they lack, they can lack meaning depending, some people celebrate them in a way that they are very meaningful. Just the way that they are sort of forced upon people in society, the commercialized situation, the over-commercialized way that they're presented, and there was a point in my life, I've had a lot of different unrelated jobs, and I'll probably go into that in another video, but I did work in retail at one point. I worked at Macy's, and I worked at a makeup counter for a short time. This is going way back. And there's other times I worked in retail. But just seeing it's like being in retail, it's I feel like you see the ugliest side of the holidays. Just the over commercialization. I know we had nice gift packages at our counter, but it's just the idea of that also, just the idea of the prepackaged gift box. And again, they're very nice. This is no diss on, Macy's or the makeup counter that I worked at. They're very, very pretty. It's just, again, it's just the holiday itself is this prepackaged thing that's sort of forced upon society, very commercialized, and then there's prepackaged things within that prepackaged thing. So anyway, it's I always have this thing every year where I'm conflicted about whether or not I want to celebrate it. I always end up doing so. I'm going to do so next year. And I've always, it's I've declared myself a person that's a last minute shopper, and that's something I'm going to change. I want to change that identity, that part of my identity where I've established myself as a last minute person that's running around in the stores. And in the previous video, I did talk about how I was actually running around a lot, right before Christmas. And that's what I have been doing every single year, probably literally since high school. It's been a very long time, and I want to change that. And I think part of the reason that has been a thing is because, first of all, because I've always said that it's a thing, so then it is a thing. It's basically I'm making an affirmation about it, and then it comes true. Imagine that. But also, I think the fact that they're conflictual, it's there's part of me that doesn't even know if I want to celebrate it, but I have kids, they're adults, but I love celebrating it in any way that I can for them, and just in general, I end up wanting to do so. So regardless of how commercial I think that they are, I still know that I'm going to do it. And since I know that I'm going to do it, I want to be somebody that gets things done early. I'm talking early as far as maybe September, mid-September. So that's what I'm declaring in this video. We'll see how that pans out. But it's just the words that you speak are very, very powerful. And also your reactions to things are very, very powerful. So if there's anything that you find perpetuating consistently in your life, I know it can be really difficult with things that are very in your face. And there's certainly different severities of different things. So I try to speak more to the situation with my car, stuff like that. I know that there's other things that are much trickier to kind of apply this to. But it works for everything. But in terms of just the types of stuff like the situation with my car, really try to just drop the issue altogether. Be an actor, pretend it's a non-issue. Even if you want to establish that you feel and you affirm that it is an issue, just pretend like it isn't. Pretend like it's just this background thing that's not really a big deal, because that drops all of the resistance about it. And I'm just telling you that you'd be amazed at how powerful that is. I just wanted to get out here because it's sunny. I did do a video Sunday, but I don't feel like I'm going to use that footage. There's a lot of footage I just feel like I'm not going to end up using from a lot of the videos that I made. But I still wanted to come out here because I actually did get out here earlier than normal. So I'm very proud of myself for that. So I wanted to take a moment to celebrate that. I want to encourage you to celebrate anything, I don't care how small it is, any small achievement that you've made, whether it's this week, this month, this year. Make a list of all the things that you did, big or small. I don't care how small it is. Because when you review the things that you've done, I think we really beat ourselves up a lot. Like yesterday, I didn't get up as early as I wanted to, and I think I kind of beat myself up a little bit over that. And I'm realizing that there's just no value in that. You know, I still didn't get out here super early. Like, I still want to get out here really, 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 really early. Like, I think it's almost like 12 o'clock now, if it's not actually 12 o'clock by now. But by the time I get done doing all of my morning things, it's typically like later in the afternoon that I've been getting out here. So I feel like I really should celebrate the fact that I got out here a lot earlier than I normally do. And eventually I'll be out here, I don't know, 8, 9 in the morning. That's early because with all the other stuff I'm going to do before I come out here, that's early to me. And who knows, maybe sometime I'll be out here at like 5 in the morning. I don't know. I'm open to that as well. And I might do the rest of this video in the car or at home or even somewhere else. I'll kick that around because I've satisfied the things that I have wanted to do the past couple weeks that are holiday related. Like, I feel more like I'm in a flow state for the rest of the week. I can kind of do whatever I want to do at this point. So, but I highly encourage you to make a list. Make a list of it's your resolutions. I call it intentions. I think it has different meaning. Intentions are different because you're intending to do something, you're actually going to do it. And that's where I recommend the book Atomic Habits, because that gives you small steps to create consistency with these things. And it makes them much more likely that you will achieve them. But I recommend that you make a list of the things that you have been doing, the steps that you have been taking. I recommend you make a list of all the achievements, the accomplishments, whatever word you want to insert in there, that you have made over the past week. If you celebrate the holidays, any successes that in terms of that. Anything, review this whole month, review the whole year. And I just think that celebrating the achievements is just a really powerful thing that puts you in a really good energy. It creates a lot of good momentum. It shows you what you're capable of. It shows you that you are capable of achieving goals. So whatever things that you set for the new year, it's going to show you that you are certainly capable of it because there's things that you've done before. And again, it creates a lot of momentum, which is really powerful. So I'm actually going to stop here and I'll pick this up at another location. I figured I'd end this video in the car. I thought I wanted to come over here by this tree that you can't really see really well. It is raining. I thought it'd be very festive. It is very close to 10 p.m. and it is almost New Year's. It is almost 2025. Again, the time thing. Again, this is Ricka Star Rose. Happy 2025. In just a couple hours. And I'll see you soon.